I'll see you anyway. said the message has always been around. Apparently. But the message is not something magically in the air.
No.
It has to be communicated.
There's been a communication about it, yes. It can't be communicated because already it's everything, but there's been a communication which points to that rather than away from it, as traditional teaching does.
So it's when you're talking about pointing to somewhere, it's rather traditional teaching pointing to something.
Well, traditional teaching, any sort of teaching points away from liberation.
Okay.
Or reinforces the dream idea that there is something called a seeker that can find something else called enlightenment.
So it's strange talking about a message that cannot be communicated.
It is strange. You could call it a communication if you want to. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Calling it one thing or another doesn't make any difference to its dynamic. If you want to avoid that dynamic by somehow getting hold of an idea about it and putting it into a slot somewhere, that's another thing that Sikh can do. A lot of Sikh people, like there was somebody in London last time who heard this message and said, well, it's a lot of intellectual concepts, that's all it is. So what the Sikh might have cleverly done was to get hold of what was being said and turn it into something that could then be put in a little box away in a filing cabinet. It's easy to do.
Thank you.
I suppose you could say that the difference between this message and a teaching is that with this apparent message, there's nothing to say.
Did you know liberated, formerly known as a person before liberation happened to you?
Wait a minute. Did I know?
Okay, I just wanted to get out of a...
You can call it a liberated person if you want,
Yes.
because there is no
I
such.
do not
Did
know
I
this
know a
person
liberated person before?
liberation happened to you?
No.
Yes.
Because there would be no way of recognising that there was liberation. I would, before I was liberated, I wouldn't be able to recognise liberation.
Okay, maybe you knew the person afterwards, and you then knew she or he was liberated.
Okay, so I didn't.
Very often feel a lack of awareness, I think mainly because of excessive dream thinking.
Aesthetic dream.
Excessive?
Oh, excessive, yes.
And so I would be interested how it is with you. You say in you dream thinking is very low, and maybe awareness then is getting very the main thing.
No, there is no awareness. In liberation, awareness is something that happens in the circle of the person. The individual, the separate me, experiences awareness. After liberation, there isn't any. Awareness, in my term, it depends what you mean by awareness. Some people use it in a different way. But as far as I'm concerned, awareness is an activity that takes place. It needs something for it to be aware of. It's like a knowing.
Yes, it's like a knowing.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a kind of state. So I'm
Well.
going, whoa, 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 whoa. Here I am. I am. Like that.
But that's a recognition and a knowing that here I am. It's in the story.
Okay, it's in the story.
Well, it needs a story for it to happen. For that to be aware of being there, there are two things, the awareness and the being. It's a story. In liberation, there is no awareness.
Okay, there's always that what is. But how is it? is it
Indescribable. It can't be described. If this could
sometimes also
describe,
in a kind of sleep murmur, like I can't describe it in English.
well, you can't describe it. I can't. If I could describe it, there would be something here that would know it, and therefore there would be something there that would know it. It is the one thing in the whole of this which is unknown. If it helps in another way, all there is everything, and in liberation there is nothing that knows that. In boundlessness, there is nothing that knows there is boundlessness. There is not a knower in that sense. I mean, in a practical sense, there's something that knows that London is in England, but that's information.
Tony, hello?
Hello.
Are there times when you experience the knower that you're in the
No.
dream state? Not at all.
Again, there is nothing there. There's nothing here, so there can't be anything that would experience anything. All there is what is.
That's true for us too. We experience the dream state non-stop.
I didn't hear that.
That's true for us, for everything.
Oh, of course,
but we
all there is
experience the
what
dream
is.
state all the time. Yes,
Of
so-
course, all there is what is, but there's also something that wants to know that. That's the problem. That's when, in very common terms, the shit hits the fan.
You said earlier that there was a kind of seesaw. Yeah?
Now, in awakening, that's a slightly different subject in a sense, in that apparently in awakening, there's something there seems to be something that seesaws from being to meaning.
Right. But
In the meaning, there's a knowing. In the being, there's nothing.
so nothing wakes up in the morning and is nothing.
Well, waking up apparently happens,
Obeying.
and there is what is apparently happening.
And who knows the apparently?
Well, everything that seems to be happening is both real and unreal. So, if cleaning teeth is happening, it's only apparently happening. It's not real, it's not unreal.
So there is a nerve of unreal and real.
So,
Or something like a
it's
nerve.
both real and unreal. It's the absolute appearing as the relative. It's the formless in form. It is nothing cleaning its teeth.
It looks like chaos.
Oh, it is chaos. There's only chaos. There's only order and chaos. It is utter chaos. It is utter unpredictability. It is utter unknowing.
And I guess we should be happy to hear that.
You should be happy.
To hear that.
You should certainly be happy that it's not happening to you. So that's why you keep on seeking. In order to be in that which is predictable. That's how you stay safe, you think. It feels like.
Are you pissed off sometimes?
No, I'm not pissed off, but pissed off arises. being pissed off arises. Especially if the coffee's cold. I can't. Claire just leaves when the coffee's cold. I can't be lived with anymore, and my whole day is ruined if the coffee's cold.
So, why do you say it's a problem?
Why do
You
I?
say that's where the problem comes in, or
Well, no, it's only a sort of way of. The difficulty, the dilemma for the seeker is that they live in the known, or they want to know what is happening. That's the problem. Because all the time there is a need to know, or knowing what is happening, there is a separation.
yeah, but if it's their purpose, if the purpose of the seeker is seeking and wanting to know, then it's just perfect, isn't it?
Well, of course it's perfect in one way, but you ask a seeker, as far as the seeker is concerned, it's not bloody perfect at all. For the seeker, being separate is painful. It's not perfect. You know, we're back to this blind person, you know. We're back to the being blind is perfect because it's the absolute expression of wholeness. So all there is blindness. It's bullshit. You know, being separate is painful. It's a dilemma. And the dilemma is created by the seeker wishing to know everything, be aware of.
And in liberation, pain arising is no problem.
Pain arises, but there's no one in pain. There just is pain.
But isn't that a question of judgment? Who says that pain is the problem?
No, well, all the time there's the seeker. The seeker says, pain is happening to me. I know there's pain. When there is no one, there's just pain. It's not judgment, it's just a description.
Yeah.
All that's going on here is a description. All the
Yeah,
time.
of course, but couldn't the seeker as well give up the judgment on pain?
Oh, sweetheart. Well, the seeker certainly believe it can, yes. And then it would be on another path, which is giving up judging pain. I mean, there are therapy courses you could take in giving up judgment of what's happening, actually. It's unadulterated bullshit. People make money out of it.
Yeah, okay, but where's the problem?
There is no problem, of course, but for the seeker, there is a problem. It seems. What this is about is to point out that actually there is no seeker and there's no separation, there's no problem. But that's a concept. It's a belief system. Ask the seeker where the pain is and what the pain is. It's for the seeker, it's very real.
But is joy a problem too?
A problem?
Yeah.
But there isn't a problem, but there seems to be a problem for the seeker. There seems to be a dilemma. The dilemma is that the seeker is seeking something that it will never find. So it becomes frustrated and longing arises.
So the whole dilemma is the personalization of it.
Yeah, you could say the dilemma is me.
Yeah.
The dilemma is me, which is separation. Me and separation are the same thing in the story. That's the dilemma. The apparent dilemma.
So,
Excuse me.
That's all.
no.
Go for it.
Okay. Perhaps it's like the dilemma is the possibility or the apparent possibility to choice. If there is a...
Well, that's also part of the dilemma. There seems to be a choice.
Yes. And so it's pain without choice is just pain. It's not...
No.
There is no problem because it's
No.
just that.
It's just that. All there is
Yeah.
is this. It's very simple.
I'll come back to the message. I'd like to quote two sentences, messages. One is by Jack Cornfield, the American
No, that's
philosopher.
Jack.
The essence of Buddhism is no ego, no problem.
Got it?
Does that have to do something with the message?
No.
No.
Of course not.
Of course not.
Well, it implies two things, doesn't it? Having an ego and not having an ego. This- the message implies having an ego or not having an ego. That isn't the message of the
the
seeker.
seeker thinks, when you're talking about pain, no person, problem fades away. It's just pain.
Yes, except that what we're talking about here is the illusion of there being, or let's go for Jack, the illusion of there being an ego. What he seems to be implying is that there really is an ego, or there really isn't an ego, and of course there's not the case. He's left out the word apparent. The word apparent. I do sometimes. Maybe he didn't think of putting it in. What's the other one?
Over here. Oh, the other one is by Osho.
Who?
Osho.
Oh, Osho. Oh, he said so many things.
Life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived.
Right. That sounds
Beautiful
more like
sentence,
it.
huh? Isn't it?
That's more like it, yeah.
Ah.
Except that I have to be pedantic about this. In liberation, there is no mystery. The mystery is over. In separation, there seems to be a mystery. In liberation, there is nothing that is mystified. It just is what there is.
liberated before
He's been very careful.
You say this because this person here cannot meet liberation, right?
I mean, there is no such thing as a liberated person. We both agree, or I mean, I presume that. There's no such thing as a liberated person. So nobody meets a liberated person.
Exactly. Yeah. But still, there is a difference. Sitting here with these people and you together, something happens here with me.
Yes, but that's got nothing to do with this.
I mean, it makes a difference when I sit in my room or when I sit here. It does.
Right. Okay, but that's okay. Oh yeah, sure.
No.
But there is no. But that's got nothing to do with anything here, anyone here, or anything. What you're meeting here is nothing.
Okay, and this is the difference.
It's in your room as well. Which room number are you in? It simply is in this that doesn't, it seems more apparent. Yeah.
Another joke. Osho gave me this name, Seeker.
Seeker.
Of truth.
Yeah, he was a good old joker, wasn't he? He did actually announce, it was lovely, he announced, I can't remember when now, it doesn't matter. He announced that there were 13 or 14 people who had suddenly become enlightened. Did you know that? And he named them, I think, and everybody from there on, you know, when these people walked into a room, it was like, it went on, I don't know how long it went on for, but then he completely withdrew it and said, no, they're not enlightened, that was a joke.
And then they left. Most of them after this left and never wanted to see him again.
He was, I loved him, he was so gorgeous. He was a devil, wasn't he? When I went to Pune, the first time I went to Pune, I was in that hall outside, you know, where you sit, and when he comes to speak. Yeah. And he walked up the stairs, and that's the first time I'd seen him. I'd heard some of his stuff, obviously, to even be there. But when he walked up those stairs, what I saw was an absolute saint and an absolute devil. You know, he had both those qualities. There's something beautifully spiritual about him and incredibly evil. Did you ever? For me, that's the very evil, that was what it was. Good.
I've got a bit of an odd question. Does lying happen?
Of course, yeah. Most of this is a lie. When I die, Claire's has got a tombstone, she's already got it made. And also I have to tell you that when I start dribbling, she's actually got a nursing home set up for me. No, that's okay. But when I die, she's got a tombstone and on it says, I was only joking.
Have you answered my question?
I I don't answer any questions.
Is there an answer to
I
the
did
question?
say, of course. No, there is no truth. So being a seeker for the truth is very frustrating.
But that sounds true.
me it's a really crazy thing here. A lot of people are talking for hours about things they have no idea of what it is, and of something they will never get. It sometimes looks for me as we are all waiting on Christmas, but Christmas will never come.
No, because it's already here. But what I did
don't see it.
But I did say at the beginning that this is one of the very few meetings you'll come to in the whole world which is utterly pointless.
So close that it is overlooked. It's so close that it is overlooked.
Yeah, absolutely. It is so close, it's so obvious that you can't see. It is overlooked. Yeah. It's mislaid.
And the fear is just fear.
Right.
The fear is just fear.
Yeah. It's just fear.
There's no free will, there's no choice. Does that mean that everything is predefined in a script?
Well, no, because there isn't anything happening.
Apparently.
So there isn't anything that's predetermined, because it would mean there would be something that was determining what would be next, or predetermining. There isn't anything happening next, because there's nothing happening.
Just like in a dream.
Not for me, no. In a dream, things seem to be happening. I mean, for the dreamer. For the dreamer, things seem to be happening. Like blondes on the beach and all that. Those are the dreams I used to have.
Could you say that it is a lucid dream? You know that you are dreaming.
Yeah, but that is the same thing as the dreamer experiences in their daily conscious life. They may not be aware of it, but most of the time they know what's happening. Or they dream that they know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's separation.
Mm-hmm.
Although it may not be apparent, there is a knower there.
Mm-hmm.
A commentator or no.
Could you say instead of knower, in your case, that there is knowing?
In the case of the dreamer, there's a knowing.
Yeah.
Apparent.
Mm-hmm.
And the knowing keeps that which is happening separate.
Mm-hmm. And knowing has to do something with recognition.
Yeah.
For example, if you look to those flowers, how do you experience them?
I don't.
But what do you see?
Nothing. I don't see anything. All there is flowers.
You don't name them, only.
If somebody asked me the name, well, I wouldn't be able to tell them anyway.
Yeah.
But no, of course not. Nothing is named or labelled. It just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing there to label it in that sense.
If you look at those flowers, is there something what Buddhists called absorption? That you...
No, there's nothing to absorb the flowers. There just is flowers.
Mm-hmm.
It's the natural reality, believe it or not. Although it may sound amazing to that which thinks it knows, it's the natural reality.
Yeah.
And functioning, natural, spontaneous functioning, apparently arises out of that. So this thing here apparently functions. But that is also what is. And actually it's timeless. It appears to be. This seems to be...
Yeah. I think it's almost the same if you have to tell a blind person what color is.
Yeah. I mean, what's amazing is that the natural reality is going on all the time. That's what is actually happening. The functioning and the natural reality is going on all the time. And what the individual does is stick a flag in and calls it mine.
And that changes.
I'm doing this. Yeah. It's amazing. And that shifts the whole thing into a sort of known film. And of course the other dilemma in the seeker's experience is that if they think they know everything, then it becomes predictable, and they live in the end in a rather boring, bland place, which is known. That's why they go on holiday. Well, because they live in the known. That what they think of the dream is the known. So the floor and the window and the sky, or the sky changes, but the floor, the window, and the wife or the husband is known. They think. So let's go away on holiday to somewhere that we don't know, which will surprise us. When there is no one, you could say, although this is a bit, there's only surprise. Because everything is new. The floor is new. Isn't it amazing? The floor is new. Look. Isn't that fucking amazing?
That's fun.
There's nothing in the way, you see. There's nothing in the way. It's naked, innocent life. There's nothing commentating. There's nothing measuring it. There's nothing wanting to use it. There's nothing that's afraid of it. There's, all those, the computer goes on. Somebody walks into the room, the computer goes on. How do I deal with this person? How do I relate to them? Do I want to relate? Do I what? Well, yes, I'd like to relate. No, I don't want to. In a naturality, it just is.
When nobody is asking you a question, I see you looking a lot around at the floor.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy that?
No more than anything else. I look at people's feet too. Feet. I see a lot of feet. So, there's nothing that is more enjoyable than anything else. There is only what there is. It is absolute joy, but it's not a sort of champagne explosive joy. It's a very gentle, sweet joy.
Some level between it, not peaks.
Not usually. There can be little peaks here and there, but usually you don't need a peak. Well, nobody needs a peak, because there is nothing any longer needed. There is only absolute love. So there wouldn't be a need for anything to be more than that.
And dreams of lawns on the beach
No.
don't happen.
No.
But dreams happen.
Dreams happen, yes, they're very ordinary actually.
The quality of dreams are different.
Well, everything, to some extent, everything in a way, in one way, everything becomes very neutral, because everything, of course, that manifests is totally neutral. Because everything that manifests is no thing manifesting, and it doesn't have any, it's just neutral. So to a great extent, after liberation, there isn't any longer living in peaks and troughs. To the mind, because that sounds very boring, and actually it's absolutely wonderful. Because there isn't anything looking for love anywhere, because that's all there is.
Claire, do you want to drink? Shall I order something for you? You don't know what you want from me?
I think